Welcome everyone, Christine here with Total War Warhammer 3, and in this particular video I am going to be going over the perfect campaign start. Now I'm going to be using Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, which Creative Assembly themselves recommend as a beginning campaign. Personally, I think her brother is in a much better situation, and she is actually the weakest Legendary Lord of Kebie. I make this point early on because what I'm about to do in this video is going to be pretty ridiculous on quite a lot of levels when we're talking about the game. Regardless, I am going to conquer a lot of territory, achieve a very strong campaign position, and effectively win the campaign very quickly over here. Now, this is a demonstration, and it's about the principles you can use in every campaign as any race, any legendary lord to achieve success. There are certain lords and races and campaigns where we can do this much faster, but the very principles that I'm going to show over here in this particular video will apply essentially in every single campaign. The difficulty is the highest possible. I'm even going to set the AI stats modifier to the highest possible level, though I will not be fighting a lot of battles manually. By the way, AI stats don't have any kind of impact based on what I can tell on the Autoresolve or AI behavior, whereas campaign difficulty, legendary difficulty gives the AI a lot of resources. Battle difficulty affects how the AI behaves on the campaign map. It makes the AI more aggressive. Now, in every campaign, the first thing you should do before anything else when you're starting it is you should take a look at the diplomatic situation that you do have before fighting your initial battle. You'll always have some minor faction to fight from the very beginning of your campaign. But in this case, what I'm going to do is go to the Imperial Wardens and declare war on several factions. But before doing that, let's talk about the campaign situation. I'm using a mod called Toggle Fog of War just to demonstrate this. So, right here, I start with a war with Po Mei. Now, what the campaign wants you to do is take not only and march on Po Mei, it's certainly a doable campaign plan. I am going to disregard what Creative Assembly wants me to do, and I'm going to go down my own path because there are other threats to worry about in this campaign than the Bastion. I will confederate the Imperial Wardens, and I will manage to secure the Great Bastion. That isn't going to be the issue over here, but my interest is achieving as much success as possible. And dealing with the Great Bastion beyond the minimum required early on in a campaign is actually a mistake. One of the things to understand when playing every campaign is regardless of what Creative Assembly might intend for you to do, you need to recognize what the actual threats in a campaign are. In this particular campaign, it's not Village or Zaytan that are a threat. In fact, you might even make an alliance with Zaytan, yes, shockingly enough. Rather, the main threats that exist in this campaign are Snitch and, to a lesser extent, Lokir. Village is just a secondary threat. So dealing with Snitch is the main principal objective over here, and this is the case in every campaign that you have. There is a real threat you have to deal with. If you're playing Snitch, the main threats of your campaign are going to be, the main threat is going to be Xiao Ming, to a lesser extent Miao Ying. And you want to deal with those threats as quickly as possible. So recognize what threat you're going to be dealing with and how you deal with those threats as quickly and decisively as possible during the course of your campaign. And that is precisely what I'm going to do. Another objective that I have in this campaign is to confederate as much of Kebie as possible, as quickly as possible, including Xiao Ming, the Iron Dragon. This is exactly why I'm going to choose to go down a different campaign path than the one that Creative Assembly intended. Because Xiao Ming, if I let him gain control over a lot of territory, it will become that much harder to make a confederation with him. So that is actually something that is very important to understand, very important to know, understand, and plan around. How do you confederate a faction? Well, I've made a whole video on confederations. With minor factions, like, so for instance, with the Imperial Wardens, just going to toggle the Fog of War back off. With the Imperial Wardens, it's pretty simple. You declare war on the USAC and the KZAC, not on Village, though. And you get a bunch of agreements with them, non-aggression, military access, trade agreement, not defensive or military alliance, because those can actually be held against you. And because of all these agreements and declarations of war, my relationship with the Imperial Wardens will be increasing to 47. I can even give them some money back in order to increase those relations even further. So right now it's 67 that we're aiming for in this campaign. Now the USAC will become village's vassal, so at that point I'll get the peace tree. But they don't. So when a faction is vassalized, you can choose to declare war on their new master, or you can make a peace with the faction or with their master, basically. So over here, because the Imperial Wardens do start a war with these 3 factions over here, I declare war on 2 of them. One of them's gonna get vassalized. I'll get the peace, and I won't even have to fight village in this campaign. Hopefully. Depends on how things go down. One of the quest objectives actually, that Miaoying does have is to take control of Snakegate. But you don't have to wage war on the Great Bastion. You could if you really wanted to, but there's no real reason behind that. Also, trade agreement. Take a look at whatever diplomatic options are available. Certain declarations of war that are not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. So, for instance, I declared war, and then I declare peace with these guys, because that's just how that plays out. I am going to start researching dragon scales for armor, because armor is very important for units. I'm going to select a compass direction, and I am going to send a caravan. Now, I am going to send this caravan with the towards Karazakarak, because it is a relatively fast location, and it will also grant me a good amount of money, 4,000, that I am going to use during this campaign. I could have declared war on the Center Lords, but if we look at the situation, the Center Lords do have an army here, so they might actually attack the caravan. It wouldn't necessarily be a downside if they did attack the caravan. I could win that battle, but it's probably for best to keep the caravan protected for 1 turn. So, with that out of the way, what else am I going to do? Well, I am going to get a clay pit for trade resources, and I am going to fight these battles over here and take Nan-Li. Now, I'm using some Autoresolve mods. The reason I'm doing so is I don't want to fight every single minor inconsequential battle in a campaign every single time I start a campaign. If you're not using Autoresolve mods, my firm recommendation is to fight these battles manually. The reason is you'll always take more damage in an Autoresolve situation than you would fighting a battle manually. In particular, when we're dealing with the settlement. Even modded, yes, even modded, you will take more damage. Now, when you level up first time, the thing you want to get is campaign movement range. Campaign movement range is such a significant benefit in your campaign that it is something that you should skill up first. The second thing you want to skill up is Inspiring Presence for the vast majority of Legendary Lords in order to start getting that experience. With heroes, again, same idea. If you get a hero replenishment, go for replenishment. If you get mobility, all that. You might want to get scouting for mages, or just focus on their magic skills. Though scouting for magical items can always be pretty useful. Now over here, I am just going to fight the Battle of Nan-Li manually, and I will show why a lot of these battles are inconsequential, but you should fight them manually. I stress this point out very firmly. Okay. Over here on the field battle, it is raining. The way I'm going to deploy my army is, well, I'm going to put these peasants in the back so they don't take a lot of damage because they're a bit squishy. I'm going to put my hero in Miaoying in the front, as close to the front as possible, and I will aim my artillery and start opening fire, disable guard mode, and start charging ahead with Miaoying, because she certainly is quite capable of taking on this entire army on her own. Now she's gotten Wrath of the Storm over here, and we are going to use it. And first off, I will want to use a spell over there to slow them down, and then transform her into a dragon. Keep in mind, this is on literally the highest difficulty in the game, so the AI does get a bunch of various benefits that they'll certainly utilize during this battle. The important thing is I'm going to keep those archers pinned down. With lords and heroes, you want to disable guard mode. I tend to have it on by default because there's various benefits for doing so. And now you can see that they're opening fire over there, but a lot of the enemy army is actually just converging on Miaoying. Ying. And we're gonna do another spell there. And we just open fire there. And let's just speed it up because this battle is effectively over. Right, they're getting in melee, just pull back, try and minimize the casualties that I'm taking. Again, highest possible difficulty over here in this campaign. And now we Transformer. One of the things you want to do as you're ending a battle is just cast a bit of healing if you have it. If you have regeneration, wait for it to do its thing. So over here, just gonna take advantage of that. With all of them. Just do a bit of that extra healing. Oh, she's taking a bit of damage because I'm still firing those batteries. Lords and heroes will always replenish significantly faster than the army they're part of. So you taking damage on them is, generally speaking, the better choice out of the two. So over here, gotten a bit of gotten my healing back up. Effectively, I've ended this battle with no damage. So let's just do one final bout of healing, and that would be about it. Decisive victory. Lost 2 men. On the highest possible difficulty in the game. But these battles, this is why you want to fight these battles manually. Even with Autoresolve mods. Alright, so first few battles of the campaign, minimal casualties. One because of an Autoresolve mod I'm using, the other one because, well, that's just how a lot of these battles play out. In minor settlements, in walled settlements, it doesn't matter. Same dynamic, minimal casualties. Now, I'm going to take advantage of something over here and move Miao Ying just directly to the south of the settlement and and recruit some Jade Warriors on her. Then I'm going to go to a Lord Magistrate. I would like to have a certain skill that would be useful there, but we're just gonna go Martial Artist. There's one that reduces your construction cost on things, so that would have certainly been useful. And I'm going to get local recruitment capacity over here because, yes, I do obviously want that. Now over here, I'm going to just end this turn. And as I said, the game wants you to march on Wing Chang. Don't do so, it's a waste of time. Like, you will be taking this Pomei and all that territory, but you don't need to do that with Miao Ying. And that's the thing to understand. You're in a race not just against enemy lords, but also against friendly lords. If you're looking to confederate other major factions, okay, as I stated, village, vassalize them by taking out that initial army that the Imperial Wardens had, taking their fortress, vassalize the USAC, and now we get the peace. And I can get into a war with village later on, but it's not really important right now. We're still at war with the Kazakh, who are going to be wiped out. They're going to be wiped out by Satan. Okay, so we're going to get a hunter. And now, you can see that I have an objective to take Snake Gate, but I'm in no rush to do that over here in this campaign. So over here, we're instead going to go to Xiaoming, declare war on the Dissenter Lords, get that trading agreement going. And look at this, I have just enough movement range to attack the Shrine of the Alchemist over here. So let's just take that. Now, I could sack it, but I don't have enough movement range to sack it and then take it over. Got a bit lucky over here, and now I can get some Jade Warrior recruitment. If you don't capture barracks like this, you recruit what's available. Like over here, if I didn't have these Jade Warriors, I'd just recruit a bunch of peasant archers. It's not really relevant. But I'm going to get short aim over here. Because what you want to level up, this is the general way I level up Legendary Lords, with some exceptions. But for the most part, I get Campaign Movement Range, I get Inspiring Presence, then I spend 3 skill points in whichever ability I'm going to use for the units that are most critical. For Miao Ying, that is clearly the range units. You could buff your Jade Warriors, but they're pretty solid enough in melee. What you really need is range damage. I would say the same about Jiao Ming, who certainly has a focus on melee units, though you could make the argument in favor of... you can certainly make the argument in favor of the melee melee skill line. But regardless, you spend those 3 points over here, and then you save up for the special skill line for all the points that are unlocked at rank 12. You probably won't get everything at rank 12, but it will end up working out quite well. So now I'm going to march on Shangyang, take Shangyang, and keep building units over here. And that's all I'm going to do for the next few turns. And as I encounter more and more factions that I can declare war on, like for instance the Dim Suns that Snitch starts at war with, I'm going to engage in those wars. With regards to declarations of war, you want to be a bit careful about it. You don't just want to declare war willy-nilly, but there are plenty of factions you can declare war on. Like for instance, if I get Vision over here with Greasus in his Grey Hall, I would certainly declare war on both the Cross Clubs and the Sons of the Mountain, and maybe get the Peace Tree Agreement right after. By the way, minimizing your losses in battles and building an army in such a way that it takes minimal losses is significant because it affects your faction's strength, how factions view you, and how willing they are to make deals with you, and how much money they're willing to give you deals for, how much money they're willing to give you for those deals. So for instance, if I declare war on the Cross Clubs, they're probably likely to surrender immediately just because I'm far stronger than they are. Okay, so turn 4, because of all the deals I've made, all the declarations of war I've issued, I am recruiting an entire full stack over here, and I've got quite a few units that I have right here as well. I could go destroy that caravan, but I'm just going to go on Shangyang directly. Now, let's take a look at this situation. She has enough movement range, and certainly this army would not stop her. And I'm just going to occupy this element as well. Gonna get rid of the structure for a moment, because I don't want to have that. Recruit more units. Here. Now, the Warpstone Desert is a bit annoying because it's got constant desert attrition. I wonder if Rapans would take damage over there. Get more shore aim. Metal shifting over there. And now, I did declare war on the Sons of Mountain and Cross Clubs. Then I got an immediate peace agreement with both of them. Just because. And you can also see other things that are happening in this campaign. We see that they're at war with the Dead Hag fleet. We declare war on the fleet, which is at war with Lokir. So they're actually going to end up losing over there. And one of the things I want to keep an eye on over here is the moment that they will become willing to confederate with you. Just gonna give them more money for better diplomatic relations, but it is inevitable that they will end up losing some territory. Could be the Dragon Crossroads, could be the Turtle Gate. It doesn't matter what they lose, but they are going to lose something. So okay, over here, take it in Shangyang. Now, Xiao Ming, he would normally take Shangyang, the first thing he would do beyond his capital. But now, since I've done that first, he's not going to do so. Instead, he's going to march on a settlement, on the last remaining settlement of the only faction he's at war with. But that isn't really a problem. You see a caravan over there from Pomei. I would have loved to take it out. Hell, in the previous version where we got a lot of money from caravans, I would have done so. But in this case, I'm just going to ignore it. Alright, we get to fight. One of the lovely things about Fang caravans is the fact that they have all these fights. Strongly recommend, if you're not playing modded, to actually fight those battles manually. Over here, I'm just going to get more recruitment right here. And going to take Miao Ying right here. Because I know Xiao Ming is over there. I'm going to leave that empty.
Take rest while you can.
And move her in a camp stance over there. And just get more units. Now money is becoming an issue, to be certain. But that's why vision is such an important thing in your campaign. We declare war on Darkland Orcs, maybe they'll accept the peace. Maybe they won't. They won't in this case. I can also get the peace with the Dissenter Lords, funnily enough, because, well, they're gonna be wiped out next turn, so might as well wring some money out of them, I would argue. And now we recruit another army under a Celestial General. Could be anything. And start recruiting some Jade Warriors. Financial situation is not looking too good, though, is it? No, it is not. So we can go over here as an emergency option. Various possibilities that do exist. Not necessarily great ones either, though. I could declare war on Village, get a ton of money in return from that, but then I would have to deal with Village. I'm just going to disband these peasants right here. Maybe disband that barracks even, though it's not really necessarily a priority. It is not necessarily a risk what I'm doing here. Okay. So that's just enough money to take me through the end turn. If I wanted to get more money, I could have canceled some of the recruitment, but I don't want to. Because I need the troops over there, because Pomei is not just going to sit on its ass and let me... like, I could have gotten that peace treaty with Pomei. Some factions start with just one army, some start with no army whatsoever. Others start with up to 3 armies. Pomei starts with 2. So that's something, by the way, you can tell by their faction strength. Regardless, it's not important. Just as long as I can keep the cash flowing in this campaign. Now, you see the Skaven over here. Alright, fight the ambushers. You gotta thank the ogres for their service. They're the ones that are gonna keep me afloat. And we can also see that they've decided to commit suicide over there. Pomei is just like looking at that. Sometimes they might come in here slower. In this case, they came in at the time when I just finished recruiting an entire stack. So, yeah, peasants versus Jade Warriors. It's not even a freaking contest. Alright, they do have another army there. We're gonna force march right there. Get more units. Pay attention to what's going on here. When either Turtle Gate or Dragon Crossroad collapses, it's always going to be one settlement or they're going to lose their army. Non-aggression pact with Carcassonne. And just pay attention to whatever diplomatic deals are available to get more cash. Here, probably declaring war on them is not necessarily the wisest move, though. Okay, Skaven. Now, attacking an army right here, like I'm about to do so, may not necessarily end up the best possible option, because they'll try and run.
The burning wind holds court here. Witness my power!
That's no problem.
Yes.
You can see there's a lot of troops, but it's just Skaven slaves and a couple of clan rats. There's no way this army wins, though the Warlock Master would certainly do some damage, but it's not really a problem. I do prefer attacking armies outside of garrisons because you do get that post-battle loot option from battles, and you can leave the settlement intact as opposed to having to sack it. Which is going to be important over here, so... I'm just going to spend 1 turn recruiting. If we look at the diplomacy side of things, I took Senwu. If I sell it for Taitsu, he will give it. The reason he's willing to trade it is because Senwu does not have a Taitsu does not have a barracks, whereas Senwu does have. And also, Taitsu is within his initial starting province. Now, because he took a settlement, check out my guide on Confederation, but because he took a settlement over there, he is certainly going to be less willing to... he certainly is going to be less willing to confederate than he otherwise would be. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Pome over here, I could stop the global recruitment in this situation, but I think I'm going to start marching on Pome. It's not important to rush as quickly as possible in certain cases. Like, some level of restraint is useful at times. But over here, just wait another turn, then trade Senwu for Taitsu. Simple stuff. No issue. And this kind of situation, what I'm building up here to constrain a major faction from gaining territory, you can do this in Ulfwan, you can do it with the Dark Elves to a certain extent. It does end up working quite well. So over here, got a bunch of units, building 3 stacks of troops. Okay. And I got a lot of money over there because of the caravan, I believe. Alright, just gonna move her by the border over here and make that trade.
Of the Jade Swan gladly receives you.
And get some money in return for that as well. So trade these 2 settlements for one another. Easy done, easy life, no problems. And got really lucky. Okay, just gonna keep that as it currently is. And we're just going to force march our army right here as quickly as possible. Start getting this to a higher tier, start moving this army closer and closer to the front. And just get more Jade Warrior crossbows. And voila! The Confederation that I expected is gonna happen without the military alliance. Now I am going to do it because when it comes to faction strength affecting Confederation, it takes the end. It does require you to end turn before it has any impact. If I wanted a lot of money there, one of the things I could have done would have been to... He's just going to be disbanded there. Gonna issue those commandments. Now, sometimes you might get lucky and Village does take the Turtle Gate, which actually ends up being better for you. Regardless, we got Taitsu. And now we just have to force march every single thing that we have to be ready for Snitch. That's all. Now, I'm not going to build anything here because I'm taking advantage of the Balance Harmony for that upkeep benefit. Keep in mind, I'm building 3 freaking stacks over here. And I certainly do want to achieve a high level of success very quickly. Here we're just going to get the Jade Dragon Edict, end the turn, march close to Singpo, while starting to take territory here on in the land of stone and steel. Okay, turn 9. I'm going to recruit another army over here. Unyielding, weapon specialist, fleet of foot. There's various options available over here. I'm going to go for a bureaucrat for the construction cost benefit, which I certainly intending to use. And here I'm going to do some global and local recruitment and take the Terracotta Graveyard. Since Pome's army has been obliterated in combat, there's no threat that I'm concerned about. And over here, well, we recruit what we can recruit.
The Emperor will
Though this army can certainly deal with Pomei, as it is. But now comes the critical moment.
advance.
I march my army over here to Taitsu. Rebellion might spark. Not too concerned by
The
that.
majestic defender.
Just get another Jade Warrior. I am in the red right now.
Favored, don't
Snitch, and this is as good as it gets when it comes to dealing with Snitch.
the celestial
He hasn't
empire
taken
ever
Kumlan
improves?
capital yet. And we're about to just destroy his entire economy. That isn't a joke, by the way. We are just about to annihilate Snitch. I could get the peace treaty with the Dim Suns. What I'm going to do, by the way, is I've gotten vision with Var, who are at war with the Scabii, so I'm just going to declare war on the Scabii for a bit of money. And declare war on the Crooked Moon for even more money. Pay attention to the caravan, okay. And send another caravan. Let's say we go for Castle Drakenhof. There's a nice item you can get there. And now I have an entire army of Jade Warriors.
Sent by the
And we're about to hit Snitch, where it really hurts. Each faction has its own vulnerabilities. In this case, Snitch's Night Runner recruitment, like, let's consider this situation. Snitch's Night Runner recruitment comes from this particular settlement. You take that out, you really hurt his economy, because that special structure there is also going to have a significant impact on the economy. We can start building a gemstone mine. Right there. And I might want to actually force march over here and use the Regiment of Renown to just fill up the army.
The emperor's
And now,
chosen
I am not gonna rush to just fight Snitch wherever he comes, wherever I meet him. I have time. I have flexibility. I am going to use said flexibility. Here I'm just gonna get a bit of growth. Here we're just gonna recruit some units. Pomei still stands. By the way, the units that I'm recruiting from the Great Bastion, I could transfer them over to this army if I really needed to. Once they're finished training. So, looking at this situation right here, we're in a very dominant position. I've got 2 entire stacks, building a third full stack. And we're talking here Jade Warriors and Jade Warrior crossbowmen. There are some peasants, peasant archers, all that. We've just screwed Snitch. Now, if you get lucky enough, it may happen, it may not happen, it depends on the RNG factor. Things like faction potential. But if you can eliminate the powerful faction or hurt the powerful faction before they've even completed their initial objective, you really end up hurting them a lot during the course of their campaign. Now here, I need to be careful about Snitch because he can ambush and annihilate me. He's got 3 stacks. It doesn't matter how good Kebie is in one-on-one combat. Alright, stay this route. It doesn't matter how good Kebie is in a fight if he just shows up and ruins your day. So over here, we're just gonna march this army right here. And set it up. Send some of these units to Miao Ying, who obviously has a range benefit situation over here. Okay, I'd say 1 more. Yep, there we go. And put the stance. So this is a trap. We're gonna spring the trap. How do you defeat Skaven? You set up an ambush for the freaking Skaven. And now Pomei lies undefended.
Child of the Nine.
General.
And it will fall next turn.
City commander.
I could get that peace treaty with the Dim Suns, but I'm not interested.
Harmony.
I could get an agreement with them, but I'm not interested because I will wipe them out. And we keep taking a glance at potential diplomatic deals and ones we can take advantage of. So for instance, he's at war with the Skull Takers. Declare war. Chances of one of your caravans encountering them, very freaking low.
Let's have you then. All you what you...
Not sure I want to get involved with Grimgore just yet.
You have knowledge.
He's at war with Oh, me. Okay, sure, village. By the way, fun fact. You can take the Dragon Crossroads for yourself. Now, money is going to be a bit of an issue right now. At this critical point, money is a bit of a problem.
Attention.
So what can we do?
It is yet.
Well, I can do the one thing I really don't want to do.
Speak up, or I'll take your tongue.
Spousal.
You Cathay.
Or declare war on the Lamians, then declare peace with the Lamians. Sometimes this works, other times it doesn't necessarily do so. Actually, I'm not. Let's get the Yang building, why not? Bit of money!
City commander.
Bit of money.
Load.
Wind. Do not waste your breath, villain. Agreed.
There's the money I need. Not necessarily something I wanted to do, but
It is an imbecile.
I could get that peace tree if I wanted to. But why get the peace tree when you can wipe them out? And so now the dim suns, like the best thing that could happen right now, this is where you gotta get into RNG factors. I know Snitch has a lot of armies. I know Snitch is likely to attack me, so I need to be a bit cautious. I know I can also defeat every single one of his armies one-on-one. It would take 3-to-1 odds and an ambush potentially for him to win. So just bear that in mind. By the way, the army that I just finished building at the Great Bastion, well, I don't need to keep it at the Great Bastion. I could send it down south to help things out, but I do have 2 entire stacks, so you gotta take some risks. Like, what are acceptable risks in a campaign? Like, is it worth potentially risking getting ambushed by Snitch in a campaign situation?
Catch our foe unawares.
The celestial Miao
Is it worth and losing potentially both your armies,
Indeed.
including Miao Ying's? Sometimes you just gotta play, you gotta make those decisions.
For honor.
I will face a rebellion there, but that's not really too much of a problem. I'm gonna loot and occupy it because I do actually want the rebellion there.
Lord of Yin and Yang. Redouble your speeds.
Now I'm gonna move this
Cross rivers
right
swiftly.
here. So financial problems somewhat resolved, not completely.
Celestial ancestors. Master
So
of
now-
Feng Shui. I will prove myself to the dragons.
I could disband this army.
Celestial General. Now.
Celestial
I can also pay
ancestors.
attention to what else is going on.
To war!
Saber skin.
Must faced.
Just see what is available.
Rot. It is night.
And take advantage of the situation for your own benefit.
Don't mess with me.
Let's see if no one's willing to quite
Or I'll take your tongue.
accept declaring war on Vacre, which
The
wouldn't
dragon
lose me
nuggets.
anything. That's the thing. Like,
Make the
sometimes
proposal. My Longbeard's
you
grumbles
just do
away.
what you gotta do, right? Besides, Vacre, like, it's like one of the things to say about playing a campaign. Forget which race you're playing as. We're all playing freaking Skaven over here in a campaign.
Yes, yes.
Sneaky, backstabby bastards. Every step of the way.
All right.
So much for financial issues. This works. Constantly freaking works. If you're playing on lower difficulty, it may not work quite to the same extent. Fine, fair enough. But on a lower difficulty, you could probably just march a single army against Snitch and he'd just fall over like a sack of wet paper. So what do you care?
Shaper of
Actually going to
Earth's
disband these
winds.
archers because I don't need them.
Attention.
Get unyielding. I'm gonna keep that extra army though. So over here, let's finally get some balance harmony. Going to face a rebellion there soon enough. Okay, just repair that, convert one building. 2 rebellions. Or only 1. I just say we delay it for a turn. I wouldn't be certain that I could prevent a rebellion. And you can see how many armies Snitch has. Both my armies there are in ambush stance. You can use in camp stance if you want to be careful. And this is how you defeat the Master Ambusher. You beat the shit out of him in ambush. And all of his armies are now dead. Rebellion might be happening. No issue. No problem. I got enough money to keep myself going. I've dealt with Snitch. I don't need to send an army from the north down here. That is how he beat Snitch. Bit of luck, undeniably so, but it's also pushing aggression very, very quickly. Now, if I was playing Snitch, by the way, like Singpo, I would have an entire garrison in Singpo. Alright, just gonna get some cargo over there, and we are absolutely going to get the rebellion now.
The Emperor loves you. Ready to defend.
Chosen by dragon.
The real question
Food and rest is scheduled.
is if I've already defeated 2 armies. He probably has a 3rd somewhere here. We can see a rebellion here.
Instrument of the divine.
My ancestors require it. Natural authority. Fight in
Deal with the rebellion.
There is no call.
And march on the Dragon
March with
Gate.
speed.
Fortified the Dragon Gate. Village is just sitting on his ass doing nothing.
General.
Death Master.
And you can see that Snitch is willing to surrender.
Instrument of the divine.
Surrender denied.
I am a warrior of the dragon. I greet you and then...
Celestial Gen.
Sneak. Shift.
And now we'll go even further on this.
Reverence fades.
Now he's probably going to take the settlement back. That's not really a concern, because he is not going to be able to win. Although I will get sure aim over here.
Addition to my arsenal.
By the way, if I was playing without mods, I would have fought both those battles. Although auto-resolving Snitch is always a great fucking idea, because, like, this is the thing about the auto-resolve system. Yeah, I know he was gonna take Singh. What else is he gonna do, right? He's finished. He's down on his last legs. I'm going to take Miao Ying and just move her in ambush stance, while the army there takes a settlement. So he took a lot of damage there. Cafe and auto-resolve.
Excellent. You
How about no? Lokier is pressing on all sides.
I will.
So just build a battering ram. That would be enough.
I stand apart.
Indeed you
Now
do.
we march. Become one with shadow.
Okay, might be a rebellion there.
Daughter.
Don't care.
Feasible, perhaps.
Unless another army jumps me, and even then I doubt it.
Servant of the dragons. Impossible.
Alright, significant force, but we got the ability of defeating it.
Take this and hold.
What's important that I do here Alright, so village is not within range.
Zatan kaf ula fauz.
Okay. He won't trade me a lot.
Klau hashut az. Centro.
General.
Yes, yes.
Child of
He won't
the
trade me a
night.
lot for it. What do I want to do with her? Well, there might be a rebellion. No. No. Okay, so situation is stabilizing over there. Get that to a higher level. Gotta keep an eye out for those damned rebellions.
Harmony falters.
Build another army or disband her? Let's just say we disband her for a moment.
The
Could get another army. That's not really the problem. It is a mess what's happening here, undeniably so. Hey, fake snitch. But even though it's gonna take a bit of time, it's not really an issue. Right here. So let's see what the Skaven are up to.
I must inform you that
So I
you
guess
will
that's
die.
his last army. Maybe not. I know he would have another one somewhere. It's all Skaven slaves, really. Because he can't recruit clan rats, and he doesn't... Weirdly enough, although Snitch could recruit entire armies of Night Runners by this point, he chooses to mass Skaven slaves instead. Don't ask me why. It doesn't work for him. Unless he corners you with all those armies, and AI is just not quite great at doing that. Skaven can be a joke. Like...
We are order. They are rebel.
Okay, so... Growth, control all provinces. Let's add it to the water supply. It will hurt,
I think only of
but we'll do it.
Stand against evil. Make a watchtower of it.
Alright, economic situation is sorted out. And here we fall back, build a barracks, because he's gonna value it more.
Spal. Uzav sam.
Instrument of
Cathy Eternal! To arms in Zheng Yang's name! Commander of the great city.
Demolish that for a moment.
Storm Dragon.
And I suppose it's time to be careful. So let's just get another army over here. In the Warp Zone Desert. Just a couple of units in case that army of Skaven slaves shows up. Okay, caravan dispatch is ready. And this one we will send on a long distance around to Altdorf. I want to get vision there. That's the important bit. Now, with regards to Zaytan, he might declare war on me. Though I'm kind of hoping to build that barracks and get at least a non-aggression pact. If I could get him to fight a war against Village, that would be fantastic. I would not have to worry about the Great Bastion at all after that point. No joke. It's all about manipulating the AI into doing what you want it to do. That's the trick here. I don't know where Snitch has that extra army, and, well, just gotta be careful. He does still have 2 forces.
Are you here to fight for?
Not my interest, buddy. This can be annoying sometimes, having to finish off factions. The threat is still real.
Fight in order to ranks.
It's almost success. Almost is not quite there. Ah.
The Emperor permits this. Footsteps in harmony.
Speed and unity win the day, guided by my ancestors. Their strategy of surprise.
Ready
Hello,
to defend.
Snitchy. I get annoyed that they run away in, like, the fucking...
Witness my power.
That's frustrating. Gotrek and Felix are available.
Leader of men.
Lurks, talk fast, for you are my enemy. Fine.
Might live to regret that one.
Celestial General.
Jade Custodians are almost available for Confederation.
Greetings. Pardon my lack of nuance.
I'll take it.
General.
Ah, he took the Celestial Lens. Damn it. He's actually annoying. I want him to not have territory because that would make my life so much easier. Alright.
The front awaits.
Let's just march over here a bit. If village shows up, that's a fight I can win. Armor for his entire army. Or even if I lose. What am I really losing? Not much. Can tell you. Sincerely. Okay. One growth point. Get that up.
Our supremacy.
Inspiring presence. It's an interesting dilemma. Well, let's get some growth. Now, Miao Ying might be ambushed. That would be, generally speaking, a bad thing if Snitch still had his entire army. His initial army, that is. But he does not. And he does a stupid ass thing that wouldn't have mattered anyway. Okay. That's sorted out at least. Probably would not have won that battle. Although, probably could have won the Autoresolve in Vanilla, because Vanilla Autoresolve and Settlement Defense is pretty strong. And even if he had won it, it's a big deal, right?
You are deemed
Sure. So some factions I want to confederate diplomatically, other factions I want to do through alright, Jade Warriors with Halberds, because they're good units.
celestial. We shall defend Kebie, warden of the great bastion.
Well, not sure I can agree with that one, but that would be it.
Earn the Emperor's boundless love. Lord Magic.
Okay, I certainly can't. Right. So I've got a lot of freaking yen. I'm gonna get 1, 2. Yeah, that should.
Commander of the great city.
The
Although,
Storm Dragon.
maybe I just want to build another structure here, get another yang.
Leader of men.
Alright, problem sorted, I hope.
Da is Kasapas match Tachrun, Fatachar Nachrund.
Tell you what. Join my fight. And now, this is the ultimate result
Before you says any good plan,
that we wanted
you
to achieve. Confederations are still
Leader
a
of
bit
men.
away. And certainly Snitch is dead. Well, he's still alive
Celestial
somewhere
General.
with a minor army. Not really concerned about that though. It's probably a very minor army anyway. Then Snitch shows up with the Doomstack saying, "What's up?"
Darkness comes.
The majestic
They're getting wiped out.
defender.
We get Harmonious. Special skill line finally unlocked. I have the Storm. Although, okay. That will
I
do.
was born to wield it.
Supply line operations, why not? Speed for his entire army. Could go with that.
Surely a gift from the
Suddenly,
gods.
positive income.
A tool of great efficiency.
Imagine that.
First among warriors.
And now what? Lokir.
Stay vigilant.
With everything we got.
Avoid ambush.
What? Cause like, he's vulnerable. Oh, I see. Snitch took that sound. I see why Snitch is still alive. Okay. I went for all that effort to prevent him from gaining territory, and he did it anyway. Xiao Ming is just truly awful to try and confederate. He just ruined every chance I had the Confederation. It's going to be much longer in this campaign to do it. Yep, sometimes things don't go the way you want them to, right? Could have had them fight Snitch all this time. The thing is, he would win against Snitch. That's not... It's a surprise, really.
Warden of the Great Bastion. Acceptable.
Cathay Etan.
It has the honor of joining Cathay.
There must be order. Feet of fire. Our path is clear.
Okay, okay. Last army that he does have.
Cover tracks with haste. General.
Well, regardless of that, we're marching on Lokir. He's gonna kill Village.
Child.
And we got an non-aggression pact with him, so hooray for me.
Onward! What brings you to the halls of my ancestors?
Money.
It is time. Make your proposal.
Lots
Yes.
and lots of money.
Who's the nut?
I don't know what's their problem.
Instrument of the divine. I am a warrior of the
But,
dragon. It is right.
Confederation achieved.
Zhao Ming.
And now things get interesting. Oh yes.
Second chance will be earned.
Dragon-blooded Shogunga.
Oh yes. Well, so much for Snitch. It's like, just confederate one faction that's not fought at anyone, and it's just like, or eliminate the rodent from the campaign map. Simple shit. And then disband half the armies that we have because they're useless and we got other things to recruit.
Celestial ancestor.
That's one a hell of an interesting place though. Was it the Yang? Yes, it is Yang, thankfully.
Natural authority.
Disband that. Who should I keep?
Child of
Her, him, her.
the dragon.
But as I said, disband half their freaking armies because they're not really going to be important. Get rid of that.
Descended from celestial glory.
Start recruiting units. We're going to Lokir.
City command.
Celestial general.
Gonna disband these two and get Gotrek and Felix. Because who doesn't like having Gotrek and Felix in their campaign? Over here, let's just get upkeep in region. I am in a positive income situation. Worth remembering.
Greetings.
Alright,
Pardon
boys
my
and
lack of
girls,
words.
it's time to
I
declare
am
war
a
on the
warrior,
Blessed Dread.
Not a diplomat.
I mean, if we're gonna go down this path, we might as well go all the way
understand.
through, right?
I am open to it.
May your ancestors watch over you.
He's certainly gonna be annoying.
May your ancestors
And yes,
watch over you.
declare war on Nakai, because why not?
The answer. You may express reverence now.
Long may
The hell with you and your reverence is all I'm gonna say.
Know that I can freeze your blood with. I am
It's probably best not to get myself involved in anything that's going on there. Except trade agreements, of course.
Never in charge.
Grimgor is Grimgor. So, I wonder... Zaytan versus Village, who wins? Oh, isn't that gonna be a lovely one? Lokir might decide to be a bit annoying there. But the campaign is won. Everything else is mop-up. And this is this is how you achieve as close to a perfect start as you can in a campaign. Things won't necessarily go your way in every way you want them to. Like Snitch attacking a Salamand, threatening another one, potentially taking the entire Pomei province, but you can manipulate Confederation situation. You know, like me taking out all those factions, like dealing with Pomei, attacking Snitch as quickly as I did, actually relieved a lot of the pressure on the Celestial Loyalists, who started building massive armies. And it was one of those armies that put an end to Snitch. He's such a scaven and annoying thing, though. Ooh, that's good.
Instrument of the divine.
Gotrek and Felix. I wonder what I want to do with Gotrek and Felix, really. Good question. Should I send it to the Great Bastion to recruit an entire freaking army that I would then use against my enemies? Hard to say.
Lord of Yin and Yang.
Hard to say.
I stand apart.
On guard. Join me.
What?
Yup.
The
Who calls?
Ah,
Approach and make
Parasland.
your offer. That I may-
Right.
They stand not a chance.
Greetings. All you survey are loyal to me, so I advise caution. Indeed.
ready.
Caracadron might end up being destroyed,
It is time.
such as it is.
Fire and metal.
let's not allow blood.
I am gaining control over most of the Celestial Riverlands. If that's not going to be an annoying piece of crap to overcome if I wanted to confederate them.
Shaper of the Eight Winds.
Let's move this army a bit south.
Serve and honor your ancestors.
Still in a positive situation. Here I actually want to get the right of Yang.
For the defense effort.
What's the situation? Yeah, Ian buildings being more expensive does hurt me. How long? Alright, one more turn. I'll accept it. Besides, I need those recruitment slots, so it's fine.
Favored.
Now we get to deal with Loki here. Head to head. And what is he gonna do? Tickle me fancy, basically. Nakai is the only real threat. But Nakai only has one freaking army, so good luck on him. So, the threat... So, understand where I started this campaign. Village was threatening the Great Bastion. He's dealing with Zaytan. Snitch could have steamrolled me. He's dead. Lokir, he's going to die soon enough. Now, Cafe can do it. Now, you can pull this off. In many Cafe campaigns, that's not really the problem. Or the point. Oh, you gotta love Zaytan just Dealing with the threat to the Great Bastion over there. I might emergency recruit an army if need be.
Impossible.
Let's start laying siege to it. It will not win in a field battle.
Seeking tactical advantage.
Set up
The Emperor's
an ambush.
Chosen by Protossx.
The defensive parameter expands.
Would you care for a demonstration of the power?
Fine,
of
you can join
fire
in this
and
fight.
metal?
What is he gonna do? He might take that settlement. And I don't want him to.
Attention.
I am open to assisting your ends. So long.
appealing experiment.
Celestial General.
Just give him a bit of money.
Shall be effortless. Wherever Cathay needs me,
Gotta be a bit careful here. Because there might be an army there.
I will not tolerate sloth.
Okay. Still in a positive income stage.
A tool fit for the dragon's daughter.
Would have been nice, I guess, to get that earlier. Okay. Though I'm gonna wait.
This is a time.
So Lokier is there. He might attack. He might do various things. He can't, like I stress, he can't so easily win. Ambush. We will ambush him. What is he gonna do
An
about
upper
that?
hand, indeed.
Let's put the Von Karstein Blade over there.
The Bastion's defense requires it.
And see how this falls. And then the rest of the campaign is just, yeah, of course he takes that freaking territory, making it harder even so for me to confederate. Easily winnable.
Bring this settlement into Cathay.
And now the real question is, do I dare take on Lokier myself? Do I truly dare? Could confederate these guys. Also could start chipping away at Xiao Ming's territory if I had enough money to buy the territories from him. Could work.
Miao Ying.
Cathay etam. Cathay needs them dead.
Lokier Fellheart.
Foolish scheme.
It depends on... I don't think this is winnable. Like, Autoresolve bullshit aside, like, yeah, that would not realistically be winnable, so let's be a bit realistic.
Earn the Emperor's love. Master of Feng Shui.
Gonna get rid of the barracks. Because I don't need it anymore.
Stay mobile.
Start building up the might of Cafe. Right, so that's balanced. I'll just wait here before getting control buildings.
I do what is necessary. I stand apart.
Such insolence!
Two wars in Zheng Yang's name. Claimed for the Emperor.
And that's a decisive victory.
The celestial Miao Ying. I forbid all.
Then move her here. She'll deal with Nongchang. If the fleet attacks, it'll certainly be a win. Besides, at this point, it doesn't really matter. No joke. It's like I could lose everything I have and it still wouldn't matter.
Surely.
Like these two armies here, yeah, sure, they're nice.
Instrument of the divine.
They're nice to have. Nice to keep alive.
Gottrek Gurnishan. Gottrek Gurnishan.
Alright. Who's winning, Zaythan?
Gorth Astaka.
You gotta wonder.
This brings Gen. Now, the celestial Empire's blessings, yes.
Spino.
Okay, let's take a look at the diplomacy side of things, see what is available. Always do that.
I master.
Not gonna declare war.
Power before
No.
me.
I'd rather not deal with that crap.
Twist
No more diplomatic choices available. Well, except for one.
Old master. Ogres eat their way out of any problem.
Warden of the Great
And
Bastion.
now I'll have to march my armies westward to deal with a threat that's gonna become pretty obvious from
The Emperor's chosen daughter.
that's going to become pretty obvious from Grimgore.
With that, I would lead more effectively.
Got some regiments right now available.
Celestial ancestors.
Yeah, just gonna get the wine resource production. Why not? Lokir is down to 3 settlements, soon to 2, or even 1. He's got 1 Black Arc. That's
Give
not to
me
be
one
underestimated.
reason not to strike
He
you
might
down.
attack here. He has chosen not to. And then it's just going to be a question of chasing his Black Arcs, dealing with Nakai, and that will be GG. And the campaign will be over within 20 turns. Nothing I did is crazy or insane. Maybe just one minor settlement battle against Snitch. Once I had already killed him anyway. Like, literally, half of Snitch's faction potential lies in Singpo. It's fucking crazy. Recruitment. He didn't build a gemstone. But if he had, that would have made it even more worth it.
Servant of the dragons.
The Lord Magistrate.
So,
We are Cathay's true bastion.
the Fecundites are dead.
Ready to defend. I will make my father proud.
The dragons would approve.
Alright, this army might need to march
Natural
north.
authority. Never flag, never falter. We are in need.
Gottrek Gurnishan.
Gotrek and Felix
Gottrek
will hold the
Gurnishan.
line against the hordes of chaos.
Descended from
You know what Gotrek and Felix are in the campaign? They're the firefighters of that campaign. That's the role they have over there. Actually, I think I'm gonna get some growth here. Could use it. Some control rather. I think I'll need it. Now the real question is whether or not that Black Arc is going to flee. It will not.
Workers for the great cause. Harmony above all. Full speed, man!
For the Bastion. You face a
He's down to his last remaining settlement.
Let us stumble through diplomacy together. A compact.
Zhao Meng.
Do not believe the slander about
You have.
Celeste.
Aboard the tower.
No come.
Alright, peace tree.
Fly the cruel seas.
Storm Dragon. The tempest grows.
It's almost done.
ever Stronger. Favored daughter.
Cathay Etan.
Ah, they're still alive. Hilarity ensues.
Our supremacy is assured.
Hilarity ensues.
Few would turn down such weaponry.
So, some of my armies, these 2 armies, will go deal with Nakai. I might have to keep them close together, but not particularly relevant. And yes, build up more shit. Because that is just what we do.
Child.
Admiral.
The dragon. Wind
And then wait for the Confederations to roll in. Okay. So this is balanced right now. I think I'm just gonna build the barracks here and sell it to Xiaoming. Would be nice to get another settlement that I could then sell to the Jade Custodians. Got a deal with what I got a deal. They're withdrawing. Okay. So we shall set sail. It may have taken 2 entire armies or 4 entire armies to put an end to Lokier, but that's the thing about building up a lot of armies early on in a campaign, because when you do encounter a genuine threat, and make no mistake, Lokier is one, you just end up demolishing them with vast troops that they have no chance for. You end up with more armies than AI. Now this is not available, this kind of dynamic is not available in every faction, to be sure. But it does work in enough of them that, well, no contest. Okay, so let's see if he's willing for me to give him Nongchang for the Baleful Hills. Not yet. See what the Confederation situation is.
Celestial Jet on behalf of Cathay.
Well, we got another Confederation.
Natural authority.
Because that's just how it works.
Celestial General.
Kind of useless, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, you know, it's a tier 3 settlement at the very least.
I'll fight from the front. To the front line. There is no advantage.
And the tier 3 settlement is certainly not useless.
We will return whenever called upon.
The storm abides.
Chosen by dragons, there's wisdom.
General. Attention.
Continue working with me.
Let's see if he's willing to join that fight. Yes, he is.
Child.
Bring fire.
Some people aren't particularly happy with me at this point.
The dragon-blooded.
Let's take a look at the Great Bastion. Keep ignoring that.
A worthy addition to my arsenal.
You know how CA is building like that whole thing around Cafe's focus being the Great Bastion? Yeah, about that. About that focus, CA. Does it look like I could give a shit? Just most genuine sense. Like, do I care? Answer is no. Some public order issues are cropping up, to be sure, but it's not really a problem. Oh, the public order issues that I do have in this campaign are cropping up just because, you know, I have that constant freaking situation of I could imbalance harmony over here too. Oh, we got a problem, gentlemen. It's a big, ugly one. Ah, jeez. What am I going to do there? Don't tell me I have to freaking face him on my own. After just paying for a declaration of war against the bastard. That would be sad, but probably expected, right?
Aboard. And then.
Probably very expected.
This night.
Heed me.
Fine.
Kislev's 4 great gods speak.
Might live to
your
regret
song.
this one, but not having money is something I would regret even more. Alright, let's just get that to a higher level. Could get some trade resources over there. Although, it's probably better to build up the Terracotta Sentinel. Terracotta Graveyard, rather. Caravans. More and more caravans. Maybe I should take it a bit more chill on the rebellion side of things.
You have but a heartbeat.
Don't tell me you're gonna go to war against me, my friend. Oh no. Whatever shall I do? Okay. I'll be at least fair. Wait, you... what? Fine. I probably shouldn't have won that battle, but fine, whatever. Sometimes the Autoresolve bullshit does go your way. I'll just disband this army. I assume I have lost it. I've killed Nakai, but let's just say I only killed Nakai there in a fair way by losing one entire army. Okay, fair enough. No big deal. When Nakai dead, though, like, to be fair, vanilla-wise, you would certainly have taken significant casualties there. Let's see where he... well, he's gone, so... I'll just fantasize that I kill Nakai and...
Whatever they have.
lost an army in the process.
Speed and unity.
So he's dead. You know, it makes me realize this was not a good idea.
The Iron Dragon's assistance will only be granted for good reason.
Because guess who's gonna take advantage of every single thing I just did there? Oh yes, the one guy I really, really dislike in this situation. I shouldn't have done that. That's on me. Fair enough. Village is at least on the other side there, so maybe I can take advantage of that situation. You never know. But that would be about it. Outside of a couple of questionable encounters, this is how things would largely play out in a campaign if you know what you were doing. Rebellions cropping up potentially. Constant let's just say constant Confederation is not necessarily a benefit in your campaign. Let's leave it there. Although we have artillery. So we can build some artillery. Maybe start building another freaking army. Actually, yeah, we'll just do that. Get a bureaucrat and start constructing the might of Grand Cafe. Ooh, yeah, we are going there. Cannons will be unleashed.
Celestial General.
Just a bit of yang. And suddenly we go after... Jesus. Look at this guy. It's like people wonder why I prefer playing Xiaoming. Understand that all that I've accomplished here is the lesser campaign and the weaker campaign. I'm not bullshitting for the sake of it.
Child of Cathay wishes no ill upon those who long.
By the cruel.
Oh, he's still alive. Okay. Fair enough. I guess he just lost his main army. But that might as well is a death sentence for him. Really.
To war.
So what do we do here?
I'm a schemer.
You dare approach me? About time.
Well, if we want to make things interesting, we declare war on Grimgor. Oh dear. Isn't that the suicidal aspect? Send the caravan for Scrag. It's probably the safest option.
We must be tireless.
And slowly but surely make our way to the Red Fortress over there. That would be the goal. Get that marble production up. Ah, Zaytan. Hello. Now, if he was so kind as to give me the Red Fortress, that would be
Then
freaking
storm
great.
shall
Though he's got no recruitment. Poor Nakai. You know, Nakai really could use an update. CA just kind of threw him in a corner and called it a day over there with him. He could really, really use some updates in terms of how his campaign plays out. He could really use some, I don't know, recruitment benefits. Or, you know, the ability of recruiting from multiple armies, so that if he loses his main army, he's not finished as an AI faction. I mean, mind you, he's pretty annoying to deal with as an AI faction. Beastmen at least have the freaking decency to flop dead on the floor.
Win. Or for honor, not fame.
Alright, that will be it. The Jade River Delta is under my control.
Leader of men.
And we got some lovely artillery.
the Emperor's chosen daughter. The Celestial
So now
Meow.
we march our Grimgore. No joke.
I shall claim
We are going on Grimgore. If Greases stands in my way, I'll kill him too.
First among warriors.
I would take that.
But that would be
To
about it.
defend my soldiers.
How much would you want
Continue
for
working
one of
with
these
me.
elements?
And Shangyan will be a haven for you.
A lot. Far more than I'm willing to give. Ah, Xiaoming. I try and screw you over in Confederation, you still end up screwing me over. Good stuff. Just how the cookie rolls, right? Costin signing out. Hope you all learned some things from this. If you do enjoy my content, consider supporting me via PayPal or Patreon. Special thanks to Protossx, Kebie, Fingo, JK, Vacre, Alain, Alex, and Daniel. And to all of you who make it possible. See you next time.